Good evening, and hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a perhaps more constructed, actually probably not, because I'm pretty drunk, but a stream where at least you can hear me at the beginning. I'd like to welcome my good movie, the idiot savant of movies, Chris. Good evening, Chris.
The idiot savant of movies.
Well, you know all the...
Wait, hold on. Considering Andy's introduction, I'll take that. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm just happy that someone else has already watched Bandersnatch, and I've told everyone to go and watch it and not watch this if they haven't seen it. So yes, guys, if you have not seen Bandersnatch, there will be spoilers, although not that many spoilers, because I've only seen one outcome so far, and I've
seen three.
I'm going to try and avoid talking about the final parts of it. But I would like to come back to a conversation that Chris and I had offline earlier while we were playing some computer games together.
Oh, Jesus.
And Chris said, "Oh, I was a bit disappointed." And then we started talking about it, and we were like, "You and I have watched different shows." And I was like, "Doesn't that show that it's absolutely incredible?" Now, I was trying to explain Bandersnatch to my parents, and they're not Black Mirror fans, especially after last Christmas. I said, "Let's watch something Christmassy," and made them watch Black Mirror episode. And they were like, "Adam, this isn't Christmassy, it's horrible." But the fact that we've taken completely different things from the show, I think, goes to show. Now, apparently it's not the first ever interactive TV show ever. Apparently there's been a couple of kids shows that have been interactive, but I don't think in the same way this has. And to give...
What do you mean? Like Dora the Explorer, sometimes she'll tell the kids, should we go east or should we go west?
What?
And then obviously the storyline makes you have to go west. It's not really a decision. It's going to go west regardless if you say go east if your kid's a little on the slow side. Is that interactive?
Well, apparently there was a Puss in Boots interactive show on Netflix previously, but I've not watched it, so I can't really make a good comparison.
Oh, okay.
But for me, especially if as people of our age, I think have all read at least one of those kind of interactive books where like you say, it says go east, go west, but you have to turn to a different page depending on the outcome. Like there was a lot of kind of very fantasy books about that. It's like, do you want to fight the elf or do you want to run through the tunnel? Turn to page 72 or page 52. And that's kind of what Bandersnatch was, but as a TV show. Of course, it's like we had discussed earlier, there is only a finite or finite. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. Well,
I think it's finite.
Well, you say infinite, though, don't you? So surely it would be finite. But who knows?
Infinite and finite. Yeah, I guess that's how we say it, yeah.
There's only a finite amount of things they could do. Of course, it's made with a cast and crew of actors, so there's only so many outcomes you can have, but yet... Speaking to you, you watched had a completely different last 20 minutes to what I had, which is...
Yeah, I felt like I had maybe it was more like an extra 30 minutes or something. It was just really, I don't know how to explain it without getting into spoilers, man. Like, remember when we were talking and we were like, okay, yeah, same here, and then all of a sudden I just went off the rails and hold on, you're like, don't say anything because I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, you did not have the same experience as me.
No, and that is crazy. And what Terry said, she's only seen one ending, and I'm wondering
what ending she saw.
Which ending Terry saw? Because it's probably different to the ones and it's, as I said to you, and you were like, "Well, that's silly. You're watching Black Mirror." Because I wanted to make mine as happy as possible. I was like, "It's Christmas time. I want this to have a nice ending." But my ending was probably, as I said earlier, more than fourth wall breaking. It was probably fifth wall breaking. My ending. I won't go into it because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but my ending was completely unexpected, but I still thought it was great. At the same time, I was still very creeped out, as I am by most Black Mirror episodes, and it just ended. Oh, hey, Rocker, very happy birthday to you. I hope you're having a lovely birthday.
Hey, Terry, hey.
Hey,
Raka, is that
Polly
she's
as
in there?
well.
What's up, Raka?
Um, but I think that shows just how incredibly well made it is. And I know, like, I literally am. I would blow Charlie Brooker, and I'm not gay, just because I think he's one of the best writers of this century, or even the last and this century. I mean, I've been a big fan of Charlie Brooker because he used to do a lot of work with one of my heroes of comedy, Chris Morris. And you can kind of see, if you go back, and I think I've mentioned it to you guys in the chat quite a lot, and to the other guys, if you've never watched a show called Nathan Barley, if you ever get a chance, I think it's on YouTube because it's quite old, watch a show called Nathan Barley, which is kind of, the thing is, if you watch it now, you'll think it's probably a very good social commentary of now. The thing is, it was made 20 odd years ago. And it sort of showed like the birth of what you would call hipsters. You know, I go on about these people that say they work in the media, but really they're living off trust funds and stuff, and they live in the posh upcoming parts of London. And it kind of was sending them up and parodying these people, but it was written before this was really a big thing. And of course, Chris Morris wrote the movie. You've seen it, haven't you, Chris? Four Lions.
Yes, yeah, I remember that film.
Which is probably, well, I would assume the only comedy ever written about suicide bombers, which was an incredibly well-made movie because it gave humanity to these guys that were like Muslim extremists, but at the same time didn't really know what they were doing. It was like,
really bad at it.
Yeah,
and
like
we're
a
just
Keystone Cops of suicide bombers.
of suicide bombers. Yeah, like. That film is really unique in a way, but its comedy kind of makes you feel like you forget you're watching. You forget what these guys' end game is, but then at the end, let's not give it away, but it shoots reality back at you a little bit.
They are likable characters in that movie as well, especially Barry, the white guy that's converted to Islam, and he's like the most extreme out of them, but he's like saying these stupid things, like, let's bomb a mosque, because they'll think the Jews have bombed a mosque, and then they'll start an uprising. And, and in fact, it's almost all intertwined. And I'm sorry we've gone off on a little bit of a tangent here, but Chris Morris wrote this series called Brass Eye, which Andy and I think we did a thing about. That one of the episodes was called Petergeddon. Now, if I'd never watched that episode of Petergeddon, I probably would have never fallen into the whole To Catch a Predator wormhole. But anyway, let's not go down there. But guys, if you haven't watched this Black Mirror Bandersnatch, now I don't think we can spoil it too much because it's all going to be based on your choices anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just going to a little bit of research behind it. I think there's over 5 hours of footage that was shot, and if I'm correct, there's 5 or 4 outcomes that could possibly have come from your experience, given from the choices that you make throughout the series. And the reason why we go back to real quick, why I said I was a little bit disappointed, because when I was initially participating, I made choices, and there's the point in the series where it didn't like my choice, and it forced me to either end it or go back to redo my choice. And I didn't really like that. But I'm kind of glad now that it did, because I got to experience a little bit more than I probably should have my first watch, because I think I don't know, maybe it was like 2 hours I was on that thing, but I got 2 different endings, and maybe 3 if you count the first time.
I understand what you're saying there. It's like at the very beginning, and I think everyone, but I think this was it was quite clever, because at the beginning, when to give you guys a little bit of the backstory, it's set in 1984, which of course I assume is a reference to the George Orwell book as well.
Yeah, which is cool. If you have not seen that movie or read that book, get on that. That's a pretty good read.
Of course, because it is like Big Brother's controlling you, and
Orwellian society kind of shit. Yeah,
and you are controlling the main character within it. It's like we said, it's not even fourth wall breaking; it's fifth wall breaking, if there is such a thing.
It's self-aware, which is creepy, but that's Black Mirror.
Yeah.
If we were just making decisions, and oh god, is this a spoiler? If we were just making decisions and nobody was aware of these things going on, that's one thing. But in a scenario where it's that plus another layer, and like we said, fifth wall breaking kind of shit that is like hard to even articulate because we don't even know what the hell's going on because we've been so programmed to watch these stories in this such a way for, not centuries, but for a long time. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, like, right at the beginning, I think what you're saying you're disappointed about, and I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler if anyone hasn't seen it, guys, but at the beginning, like, this guy has tried to develop his own computer game. Now, remember, this is the 80s, so the computer games are kind of basic, and they kind of have a little bit of fun with that, talking about the sprites and things, and there's a few nice little
It's also just before the console crash.
Yeah. No, consoles weren't around then. These games they were making were supposedly for the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore 64.
Commodore 64 were gaming. They were gaming on those.
Yeah, but they weren't consoles. They were like computers you plugged into your TV, weren't they? I mean, I had a ZX Spectrum, I think, and I remember. Do you remember putting the tapes in? And it took about 6 minutes to load the thing up. It took forever. And that noise now that if you hear is kind of romantic, but at the time it was annoying, like as it took forever to load your game up. But yeah, so the game
like it was dying.
Yeah,
every time. Yeah,
because the games were on tape cassettes, weren't they? Remember that?
Some of I mean, I was born in '83, but I remember that stuff being around my house. My dad's a computer programmer, so we always had tech shit all over the house. I remember seeing that. I remember having a printer that was almost as big as I don't know how to explain this thing. It's about the size of a freaking small refrigerator, and all it did was print in black and white and with rolled paper with holes on the side of it, and you had to like wind it up, manually crank it, and had a ribbon and shit. And it was huge. It was so big it shook the fucking table that it was on when it printed. It was like loudest motherfucker thing in the world. It was like Richik, and I'm like, oh my god, now they got LaserJet printers that don't make a fucking noise. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, but so this guy has developed a computer game, and it's based on one of these books that we've mentioned before. But at the beginning, he goes into the office, and you think he's being offered everything he ever wanted, because he goes into this computer game developers that has the developer he's a big fan of, Colin
something or other.
Can't remember his last name because it's Moam Tucker, isn't it? It's called Tucker Soft, the company he goes into, which is fantastically played by Chabuddy G from People Just Do Nothing. Asim Chowdhury is his real name. But if you watch People Just Do Nothing and you see him in this episode of Black Mirror, you will not realise it. I was like, is that? No, it's not. Is it? Is it? Because I love People Just Do Nothing, and I highly recommend anyone who's listening in the chat, if you like a good mockumentary, go and check out People Just Do Nothing. But I was like, that's not Chabuddy G from People Just Do Nothing. And I had to actually pause it on Netflix, and I got worried because I was like, well, I've got to be really into this. Well, I am really into this, but I've got to see if it is. And I was like, fucking hell, this is that same dude. So he proved it. I mean, the casting in every Black Mirror is always superb. But
yeah, I agree.
Like the Asian guy in that, yeah, he's in one of my favourite comedies as well, but he was fantastic. And he sort of says, right, do you want a team of people to help you make this game? We'll get it out. We'll get it finished by September. You get it out for Christmas. And I think 95% of us hit accept. You hit accept, right? And I think that's what you're saying you were disappointed about because you were forced down that pathway.
Well, I hit accept, and then the guy goes, wrong decision. And then it flashes 5 months later, and the guy's, I got to do it again. And you're right back in the same scenario. So it makes you make the I got to make it on my. It makes you go down this path specifically. If you look at it like it helps you get the ball rolling, and then you kind of, because after that, I didn't really feel that. After that, I was making decisions.
I think that was like to say, like,
I went down the rabbit hole.
There can be consequences here, but as you would in one of those books or one of those computer games we're talking about, as you would just die and you would go back. So it's like, I think the reason that choice was so obvious, that everyone hit accept, and then he goes, wrong path, mate, and then it goes, okay. And it just cuts to the review of his game, doesn't it? And it goes,
I got you. He says, "I got to try this again."
0 stars out of 5, and his dad goes, "Well, at least you tried, whatever." And maybe it was that scene that made me kind of attached to his dad, because I know as the story goes on, you get a lot of choices about his relationship, or not his relationship, the actions he takes with his father. And I really wanted his father to be this nice guy, and him to turn out to have a good relationship with him. Rocket, yeah, if you've never seen Black Mirror, you really should. It's the most poignant TV series of our time, I would say.
They're unsettling, though. Like, don't watch them.
They are.
Like, it's hard to explain how they make you, like, they do a way, it's done in such a way where you're like, oh, this is cool, and then all of a sudden it goes, oh, fuck, I forgot what I'm watching is Black Mirror. This is not going to end.
Well,
it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And but it's done in such a way, I would say, like Twilight Zone, but
it is
maybe more polished and more relevant.
Well, I think Charlie Brooker himself has said that it's like a Twilight Zone for the modern generation, for the internet generation. But I would say it goes deeper than perhaps even the Twilight Zone did, or even I would say it takes a lot of influence from the Twilight Zone, and also I don't know if you remember Tales of the Unexpected.
Not really.
Which was the Raudell written series. You must know the author Raudell.
Nah.
No?
I'm not aware.
You've never read Matilda, the Twits?
I know Matilda the book?
Yeah, that's Raudell.
The Little Witch?
The Witches was Raudell? The Witches, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yes. I read that as a child, and we also, we read those books in school, yeah.
I think his daughter is now a model or an artist or something, Sophie Dahl.
Yeah, she does. She's an author as well, and does the drawings.
I mean, as a kid, Raudell was a huge influence on my life. I loved the book The Twits. There's still bits of those books that stick in my mind now. Now I've got a beard, and there's a bit in The Twits where it talks about how disgusting Father Twit is, and how he used to get bits of food in his beard, and people would say, "Why have you got bits of food in his beard?" And he'd say, "I'm saving them for later." And
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
I mean, Raudell. I think if I ever got the chance, and I know I never will, I'd love it if just for some insane reason Charlie Brooker happened to go, oh look, some people are doing a podcast about my show. I bet you he would say that Raudell is one of the big influences in his life, but then he would probably also say many other much more respected people like Philip K. Dick and Cervantes and more sort of bigger, more famous people like that. I mean, Cervantes himself probably created the whole comedic illusion of the whole comedic front of disillusion. If we didn't have an author like Cervantes, we would have never got people like Alan Partridge or even perhaps David Brent to an extent. Yes, Polly is right. Mrs. Twit put worms in his spaghetti. She did. And I suppose, Chris, you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, haven't you, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that scene where he goes, "Oh, you've turned my dick into worms." That's very raw.
No, he turned his dick into a snake. He turned the spaghetti into worms.
That's it. Yes, he turns his spaghetti. Sorry, I got confused. He turned his spaghetti into worms. Yes, and that's very Raudell. But yeah,
but they were making fun of the Lost Boys when he turned the noodles into worms.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. Rocker, just to explain, is it about spies of the government? No, Black Mirror is a dystopian anthology series. Every episode is its own complete episode. You don't need to watch one episode to understand the other. It's not a series that goes on and on. Each episode is its own full story, and it's
like a little mini short film.
Yes, yeah. Well, Bandersnatch was a full-length film, wasn't it? It was an hour and a half.
I mean, if you count it like that, yeah, I guess sort of, yeah.
Well, I mean, because the thing is, I'm going to get a lot more watching out of it, because I'm going to go back, maybe not tonight if it gets too late, but I'm going to go back and try and see some of the more episodes, because talking to you about it, I'm like, wow, I want to see these other
Like, I don't think we
outcomes.
got the same ending.
No, we didn't. No, but I know why we didn't, because I got the phone number wrong at the end.
That, and I think you made another decision that I did. I got the phone number right, but I also made another decision that you didn't make. But I also went down another couple paths that of him trying to get that game off the ground before I. It's really hard to explain. I don't know if I didn't make a choice on time or something, but I felt like.
Well, see, my ending, and I don't want to give it away, but my ending was completely unexpected and out of nowhere, but also kind of very in keeping with like the part where you get the choice, and do you say that you're this symbol, or do you tell him that you are Netflix watching him? And my
The first time I did, I got to do that twice. Did you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
The first time I picked the symbol.
I did the whole final fight scene twice, and I picked different parts to both of them. But the first time I did
have a similar experience. You were just having them at different moments because you were getting to do things again. You said I didn't get 2 fight scenes.
No.
But,
see, I went into the fight scene, and then it cut back, and then I went, well, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to try and jump out the window. And that's when I got a completely different ending to, I think, people didn't.
I got drug out of that damn thing, saying loony shit about. I don't want to give it away, but he's like, oh, something about my friend from Netflix or some shit. It was fucking weird.
Oh, I've heard about that ending. I've read a bit about it.
Yeah, it's dude, you gotta. Yeah, I recommend if you watch it once, sit on it for a while, contemplate, and go back and then retrace your steps and do everything the opposite way. You're going to experience some different shit.
I want to go right back to the beginning and just choose, because I chose Sugar Puffs because I always preferred Sugar Puffs to Frosties. Now I want to go back and just choose Frosties and see if I get a different storyline out of just choosing Frosties. I mean, that's how interactive and how detailed and incredible this thing is.
Because you might skip a scene from that decision. You might not even have one. You might be to another part.
Oh wait, which music did you choose? Did you choose the Thompson Twins or the Now compilation?
I chose the Thompson Twins.
See, I went for the Now compilation, and later on it kind of belittled me for doing that. But I was
it played it. It played it.
Yeah, it played me one of the songs off Now 2. Of course, when I was growing up, I think that I had the first Now I had was like Now 10.
Sure, he got 2 fight scenes also.
Yeah. I had like Now 10, so I was like, well, I'm going to choose that, because I think Now was my first ever tape cassette that I owned. For me, I mean, the first ever, if you guys are interested, perhaps it's not that interesting. The first ever.
I remember mine was my first cassette. Go ahead, sorry.
My first vinyl was The Final Countdown by Europe.
Jesus.
Yeah. On 8-inch vinyl single. Because I begged my mum to buy it for me, because I heard it and I was like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, this is amazing. I need that. I need that. And I begged my mum. I was
need that in my ear hole now.
Yeah. I begged my mum, and she came home with the 6-inch vinyl of it. But that was the only like vinyl that's how long ago we're talking, because I'm three years older than you. But then my first tape cassette I owned was the Best of Motown 60s. And the next tape cassette I ever owned was Now, like 10 or 12. It was a very early Now. So, of course, when the choice was the Thompson Twins or the Now compilation, and I think Charlie Brooker is around the same age as we are. So it was kind of like, I was like, well, I'm not familiar with the Thompson Twins. But Now, I know the Now compilation, so I chose that. And then later on, of course, his computer developer mate is like, what? You listen to compilations? Right, I need to write you down some records to listen to. And I felt almost belittled for choosing the compilations.
I didn't have that experience.
I didn't feel belittled then if you didn't choose the compilations. Did he not?
I don't remember that.
Did he
not? I don't remember him saying anything about the music.
No? He tells him to get a pen and paper.
Yeah, he does. He goes to the record shop, he picks it, he goes, with this record, I picked that record, and that's the last I heard of it, until the scene where, Colin and them have to make a decision on the balcony. Well,
did you have to? Did you buy the book at the same time as you were in the record shop?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So that's one bit that's.
Did you have the
clear.
dream about the kid, him becoming a kid again?
Well, it wasn't. I don't want to try not to give too much away, but it wasn't a dream.
Or whatever that was.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, my whole experience was very, very fourth wall breaking. It was very much like this whole thing has been set up for him.
Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole, but I went down that one, and then I came back, and then I went down the Netflix rabbit hole, too. I went down 2 rabbit holes. Did you go down 2 rabbit holes?
The more we're talking about this, the more... Well, I went down hundreds of rabbit holes. The more I'm talking about...
yes, I mean, but like, no, I mean, like 2, because look at the symbol. Remember, it's that split off into 2 decisions.
Yeah.
But I clearly, distinctly going down 2... At that point, going down 2 different... When I made that symbol choice of the split thing, of whatever the hell that was, or the Netflix... The first time, I went down another chute that led off into a bunch of other offshoot rabbit holes. But then I came back and made the Netflix one and went down another chute into another offset of decision makes that was intertwined, but not so much, not really. And then I came to a conclusion, sort of, I think, yeah. But it was 2 because I got one and then it rolled credits on me, and then I had like 35 more minutes of decision making to go after that.
See, that's not what happened to me at all in my one ending. It ended with a very kind of fourth wall breaking part, and then it ended, and that was that for me. But also, I chose Netflix both times. It was like
I didn't.
Like I said,
I chose the...
Man, I wonder how, and the thing is, it's mentioned very early on. You know, when he talks about the book, he goes, "Oh, this book is by Jerome K. Davies," and he says to his mate, "Which ending did you get?" And the guy goes, "I got all of them." And I think that's what I want to do.
Oh yeah, I got all of them.
Yeah, but I know it's very poignant for me because I work with a lot of computer games that are like this, and I often write in my thing, I'm like, well, I did this and I took these choices and I got this. Well, I won't give away the endings when I write my reviews, but I'll say this game has got replay value because perhaps you would like to go back through and try and get different outcomes. And I think for that reason, it's got such rewatchable value. The reason I haven't gone immediately back as you have, Chris, is because I want to watch the whole thing from the beginning again. And I know I will end up kind of rehashing bits I've seen before, but I want to enjoy it as much as I did every time, which I think is possible, and also hopefully get different outcomes. But at the same time, I wonder, and this might sound a bit odd, but if I think I'm quite an optimistic, glass half full kind of person. And I wonder if my brain will be too conditioned to be like, you know, when it says, "Do you kill dad or back off?" I'm always going to try and hit the same thing. But
you sense yourself doing that, then you do your total opposite.
Yeah. Hey, Bunky, it's going good, man. How you doing? But yeah, but isn't that incredible?
No, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I think they almost take the piss out of like people that are like that know that they're conditioned to be this way and watch it, and they sort of say that. It's like, well, you're watching it and you're controlling this character, but then is Netflix controlling you?
In a way, Netflix was controlling your decision at the same time that you were controlling somebody else's decision. It's fucking trippy as fuck.
You said to me like you felt you were guided into making your decisions, but yet we watched almost 2 different shows.
But what were we doing when we were watching those shows? What were we doing to him? We were guiding him to his decisions, and that's what I felt like Netflix was wanting me to do when I picked. I think Netflix set it up on purpose, man. Look back on that first.
Oh yeah,
not the first. It's like, yes, they set us up thinking this guy. This is what everything. Yeah, of course he's going to take the deal, right, and work on it with them, and they know everyone's going to pick that. So they set the ball rolling to later on when the story unfolds in front of you, when he realizes he's being manipulated, so to speak. We were manipulated into going down the path, so we're not in control of it either. So they double fuck us, like triple fuck us.
But that's so really weird, clever, because otherwise the show would have been over after 15 minutes.
It's super It's super clever. It's total outside the box. It's outside the world. I don't know how you write something like that. I just don't understand. That's just fucking talent to me. But that's how I perceive it after I watched it. With the content, I was like, okay, it's Black Mirror, so you have to pay attention. There's no throwaway shit in Black Mirror at all.
No,
you have to pay attention to every episode. It's got something to tell you. So I'm thinking, okay, the Netflix thing, and then it talks about guiding decisions, and it talks about are you even making them, and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, then I'm thinking the whole time I'm watching it, right? I'm thinking back to that decision when they made me go do it twice, and I'm thinking that shit, I'm being manipulated too. This is trippy as hell.
Well, that's like Terry's just said here as well. Often she chose the ones that she assumed Netflix didn't want her to choose. Whereas for me, I was like, it's Christmas. I want to make this story as happy as possible. And perhaps that's because I'm a very saccharine, soppy fellow. But I was just like, I want to do the ones that's going to be... Although, saying that, perhaps due to that mindset, I chose the bit. Now, I'm sorry, guys, this is quite a big spoiler, so put your fingers in your ears if you haven't watched it. But when you choose between him and Colin to jump off the balcony, and I was like, no, Colin can jump. Fuck that, because my story will be over otherwise.
So you knew... See, I was thinking he's gonna die and reset. I don't care. I'll do it. I'll let him jump because I know I'm gonna come back because I was listening to the story. I know that I'm gonna have, you know what I mean? Like Pac-Man. He talks about Pac-Man. He doesn't give a shit. He's back doing his thing. I'm like, okay, cool. If that's the case, all right, dude, jump off the roof.
But of course, you must have reset.
I did because I knew I was going to.
Yeah, but I didn't because I was like, no, screw that.
You weren't paying attention.
No,
you got to wait till you go back and rewatch it.
because I think that is the biggest fork in the show. I think that's where it splits off.
I think I made the decisions counterintuitive to some of the ways that I think they wanted you to go down, but it caused me to go back and do it again. So I got. It's weird to. I don't know how to explain it. Like if we could find a way to watch it together, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
and we could just figure this shit out. But
I think you did that because you were looking at it from a perspective of, well, that's fine if I let my character die. You were being more heroic, whereas I was like, well, no, I don't want my character to die because
it wasn't heroic. It was more like
I honestly thought if I
didn't give a shit about the character.
No, on purpose, not heroic, but self-sacrificing.
I took it like a game.
Yeah. He was more self-sacrificing, and I thought, no, if I let my main guy die, it's just going to send me back again, and I'll start again. Let's let the other dude die.
Oh, yeah, like a video game.
Yeah.
You idiot. I'm going in there balls to the wall, just not even paying attention, just dying and just coming back and forth.
No, you're being a pussy.
I need to save my...
You were like, oh no, I won't kill the other guy, I'll let this guy. I thought if I said the other guy die, that he was going to turn around and go, oh la la la, I'm not really going to do it. And then he just jumps off the wall. He's like,
but I also told you I didn't want Colin to die. I didn't want Colin to die because I like that character.
No, I like Colin. I was disappointed not to
I knew my guy would come back. I didn't know Colin would. So my first decision was I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'll jump.
Well, hold on. Like, don't give it away, but Colin didn't come back for me. That was the last I saw of him.
Yeah, me too. After that decision. See, I redid that twice, though. I had a lot of doubles.
Oh, I mean, the fact that we have been able to talk about this so much and that it's so deep and mental is insane. I mean, what a show, man.
Netflix is manipulating you. You're manipulating the story that's going on in front of you.
But isn't it great that...
It is. It's awesome. It's refreshing.
We can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I'm worried about with is this latest series, which I don't think the rest of is going to be released until a good few months into 2019. Is anything else going to come up to this? Because this is going to have not just us, but the world talking for a long time.
I'm cool if they don't give us another one, but maybe at the season finale they make it interactive and they give us another one after a little while. If they just hold off for us for a while, let us... Because this one's going to go for a while. You're right, man. People are talking about this.
Yeah.
But if you give us another one, you're going to waste it. Don't.
No, they won't for a few months.
Give us some good Season 5 Black Mirror, and then make the last episode interactive, where you have to watch Black Mirror the whole season to get the interactive one. That's a way to get people in.
Personally, I don't
And how many people got Netflix this weekend for this?
Like you did. Yes,
how many
I literally got Netflix
just
for this.
Fuck it up. That was the smartest thing they could
Yeah.
do since Marvel's pulling all their Disney shit from Netflix.
Well, yeah, it's a fantastic thing for Netflix to do. I got Netflix literally this weekend because I realised that if I just watched a rip of this, I'm not going to get the experience that people should get from it. So I had to get Netflix from it. So yes, you cannot watch this show on anything other than Netflix. I mean, it's like you said though. Apparently, a lot of people are complaining because they can't watch it on iPads or mobile phones because
I couldn't
you
do it.
need a mouse or a trackpad to be able to make your decisions. And if I had found a rip of it and watched it, the decisions would have been just whatever happens after those things, after the time
it would have been
runs down.
the decision of whoever was ripping it.
Well, yeah, or they would have just let the timer run down, which apparently probably would give you the most linear experience, if there is a particularly linear experience. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted to become engaged and involved with this show, which I'm glad I did. But I don't think they could ever do another interactive episode of Black Mirror, personally. I think it's a fantastic way to start season 5, but I don't think they'll be able to do it again. I think especially if you think about the actors and the amount of footage they must have filmed and stuff. I mean, it must have been very taxing for them.
Well, no, it's not too much. Think about it from a production side. Not to fucking say that, but I did. the minimal locations. I don't think it was that difficult. It was difficult in engineering. I give them a lot of props. Like, trust me, from a production side, fuck yeah, guys, give these guys they're seamless. Like we were talking about, the decision making was very seamless. Like there was no jump cuts or weird fucking cuts that didn't make sense. They were seamless. Like you couldn't tell that this wasn't filmed the way that you were making these decisions. And that's talent.
Yeah.
But I think they used little minimal locations on purpose, which limited, their continuity errors and shit like that. But I think they could do it again, man. If you're thinking the production's going to hold them back from this, I think you're sadly mistaken.
But I don't think they could do it again with the same poignancy that this one holds. I think because
don't count them out.
I don't know if I would want him to. I just don't think it would be as impressive as this episode. Perhaps this is the future of television. Perhaps there'll be many more. And like I said, this isn't the first interactive show, but it's the first one that kind of allows the viewer I'm sure we are manipulated into certain decisions throughout it, and I'm sure that's Brooker's and his co-creators' intentions. But it's not like the kids shows where it's like, okay, you choose what happens, blah, 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 this happens, is it happy, is it sad? No, it's like, this decision affects this outcome, or this outcome only happens because of this decision, which is an incredible thing to do, and I don't
think they can do another one where it's kind of self-aware, but I do think that they can do another episode where maybe the characters aren't self-aware. I'd be interested in something like this again. But I see now that you're saying that, I think to myself, yeah, how the fuck are they gonna? They put all their eggs in one basket. Yeah, they put all their eggs in one basket. There really isn't anywhere to go.
But then again, it's Black Mirror and it's Charlie Brooker, so
they'll find a way to get us hooked into this shit. I mean, if it was. Honestly, man, I didn't even know this was coming. This came out of nowhere to me.
No, I had heard rumours for the last few weeks that Bandersnatch was coming out. And a little bit of random information for you. This is actually based on a real-life video game that never came to life called Bandersnatch. And also, the word Bandersnatch comes from a... not Tolkien. Someone similar to Tolkien wrote a poem. Maybe it wrote a poem a long, long time ago, and it featured the word Bandersnatch, which is where the word came from. But there was a BBC documentary from a long time ago. Now, you see, like, when you're watching this, and you see, like, these guys in London in the 80s, this was actually how, apparently, the UK computer game industry was. This was big business back then. It was like the Wolf of Wall Street, but with guys in horrible weather wearing brown clothes and stuff. And it's crazy to think, these guys making games for the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore 64 were sat in some offices in northern England, but raking in money as this stuff came in. And it's
right in the middle of the PC boom, the home entertainment. But
while Thatcher was destroying the mines and the working class industries in the UK, there was guys rising up who were sitting in front of very, very primitive computers and making a shit ton of money from it, who went from, 1 week living in a terraced council house to the next week driving Porsches around fucking, trying to think of some random northern town, like Bolton or somewhere. And that was happening in the UK. It's crazy. I mean, a lot of the computer game industry and the growth of it was happening in the UK at those times, which is mental.
Yeah.
Even games like what was that game, like Eggman or something? Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, okay. It was like, but the guys that designed that were making tons of money. Even when they show that and they show the price of the game, £6.95, and I thought, well, in 1984, that was a lot of money.
That's probably like 19.99, like $20 now.
I would say it's more, to be honest. I think
£6.95. Yeah, it's probably 84. You're right. It's probably $30, $40.
It's probably about the equivalent of a regular computer game, $30, $40 now. So these guys, it's very interesting to see that. And just another little snippet of information, where they filmed, do you know the scene where he goes into W.H. Smith's? Now, I don't think you have W.H. Smith in the US, do you?
I know of the store, though.
Yeah, well, they have all
footage.
Airports in the UK. Every airport has a W.H. Smith. But the scene where that was Croydon, that was filmed in, which I lived just a few miles from for a while I was working for EasyJet, and apparently they redid all the storefronts to look like the 1980s, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Mm.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm a sucker for the 80s. Most of you probably don't know because you guys aren't aware of my channel, but you know that I like the 80s. I really do like the setting, and it's kind of cool because the programmer aspect of it. Because my dad's a computer programmer, and his friends, they would all come over to the house and plug their computers in, and they would, it was before the internet. Mm-hmm. It was a rudimentary type of internet where they all log in together and play like a game like this, where they all have to make decisions and fight a dragon. I forget what the hell it was, but it was a bunch of grown men. They created a game that they made themselves on their spare time, and they would play it on these, old ass computers and shit. It brought back that kind of, time of my life. So it's neat. So I'm a sucker for that stuff.
There's one line in it, isn't there, where he's talking about the code, or not even I don't think they even refer to it as code in the show, do they? But he's like, so what? You don't even have to type in commands like get lamp in this. And it's like, no, you don't. It's like, wow. Like, in these old computer games, you used to literally have to kind of type in the code yourself to continue the games, didn't you? Like,
right.
That's crazy.
Key. Unlock door.
Yeah, unlock door. Right. Get key.
If a dragon comes at you, you have use attack, put up shield, run.
Block shield.
Run, and you type in fucking run.
But I suppose to an extent in those days they were almost like, I was going to say visual novels, which is a term we use a lot now for computer games that are text-based. But they were literally visual novels to the extent that you had to write what would happen in them for the next kind of piece of action. That is... Yeah,
kind of a lot like Dungeons and Dragons, if anyone's ever played that. It's sort of... they have a dungeon master that kind of narrates the path of the people but they're forced to make decisions, and they have a certain it's like that, without getting too nerdy, excuse me, but yeah.
You can get nerdy. I mean, this whole episode, for as beautiful and brilliant and incredibly groundbreaking as it is, it's also very nerdy. I mean, there's so many little Easter eggs in there as well. I don't know if you noticed that when he goes to the psychiatrist, that the name of the psychiatrist outside is San Junipero. which of
Yeah,
course is
you mentioned that before, and I
yeah,
had no idea.
yeah. Well, and of course the computer game that his hero is developing is called Nosedive, a reference to another one of the episodes of Black Mirror. I mean, I
And
love.
now that I know that episode, now that you say that, I didn't know that that's what the episode was called. But
Yeah.
Nosedive is one of my favorites, actually.
I love the fact that Black Mirror is almost a contained universe, but yet every episode is separate and
It's self-aware, and it adds another level of creepiness to the shit. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain what Black Mirror is. There's nothing like it out there to compare
no,
it to.
no. But it's like, I mean, I think in the 80s the closest things you could compare it to was Tales of the Unexpected or The Twilight Zone. But of course,
Yeah.
it's like those shows, but taking into account modern technology, which makes it so incredibly brilliant and also poignant for our time. And I think, in my opinion, and I might be obviously very biased, as I've stated, I'm a huge Charlie Brooker fan, but it is the most important TV show. Charlie Brooker is to television what Philip K. Dick was to sci-fi.
That's a bold statement.
Well, I would go further than that, to be honest. And
Really?
well, yeah, I would say that Charlie Brooker's mind and writing, and perhaps it's not just him, because I'm sorry, because he's the one that sticks out, of course, and those of Brits among us he's been on TV a lot, and he's had his own sort of shows and things. We'll know of him, but he is the co-creator of Black Mirror, so there is someone else that's done it with him. But I would say, in 100 years' time, now, of course, because of the way we live and the world we live in and technology, everything is a lot more disposable than it was. And perhaps in 50 years' time, those episodes of Black Mirror won't be important because that stuff will be implemented. But I would say, like, these episodes and this television that he's giving us are as important as anything that Shakespeare or Dickens gave us in literacy or literally
For cultural reference,
yeah,
cultural relevance. Yes, absolutely.
yeah. He is like who was the guy that always wrote about the future? Was it Machiavelli?
I thought Machiavelli was scheming.
Well, no, yes, you're right, because to be Machiavellian is like to scheme. And who was that guy? The guy that predicted the future and everyone always went on about?
Nostradamus?
Yes. These are Nostradamic television shows. Yes. Thank you, Chris.
Or I would say Orwellian.
I would say a combination of both. I wouldn't disagree with being Orwellian, of course.
Have you seen the movie Brazil?
No, I haven't, no.
It's a lot like that movie, too. And that's a book. It's Orwellian, kind of Blade Runner-ish future. It's like taking what's going on now and just like magnifying it times 10 kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then like where social, like the Black Mirror episode about the social media where that I forget her name, but it's Bryce Dallas Howard, her character. You know,
Nosedive.
that's Nosedive. Okay, exactly right. That is gonna happen. Like that is already happening.
No, that is happening in China right now.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Is it really happening in China for real?
Yeah. Mark mentioned it earlier in the stream with me and Andy. Yeah, social grading or rating is happening in China right now.
So now you're being judged on your race, your character, your sex, and your social status.
Well, I wouldn't say race, but yes, your character.
Oh, you're being judged by your race. You shouldn't be, but you are. That's just the way it is.
Well, I don't know. You'd need to speak to the Chinese people using these applications. I don't know how it's working.
Yeah.
But isn't that... Yeah, it's I mean, some of this... It's like I said, like, when I was talking with Andy earlier, one of my favourite episodes is the entire history of you, because that is what is happening, because we're uploading all of our lives to the internet. And once we get older and we realise, I don't know if I wanted everyone to know about that, it's too fucking late. Because other people have seen it, and even if you can delete it, someone else might have ripped it.
Yep, screenshot it or
Yeah, it doesn't
downloaded
matter.
it.
And then on top of that, and I hate to get my tinfoil hat on here, but it's something that Black Mirror helps me with quite well. Who else do you know who else could be taking all of that information and doing things with it? The government. It's like very much in this latest episode, Bandersnatch, and he's talking about how the government are monitoring us and filming us. I'm not saying they really are doing that, and I would like to think they're not, because my brain will explode. But those of you that are willing to just put all your social lives and your personal lives online, when it comes back to bite you on the arse, don't come running to me, because I told you so.
Right, you have your own self to blame. That's kind of where I don't personally put too much personal information on social media because of that. It's just but I'm also in that generation where we didn't have it, so I'm not like addicted to it. Like I don't need to do it. I do it for my channel, and that's pretty much it. But I'm so lucky. I'm gonna have to deal with a daughter who's gonna be, who knows what kind of apps they're gonna have when she's able to hold a cell phone.
Well,
play around stuff.
I've recently got back into the world of online dating, to get a bit personal, and I tell you what, it's a depressing, bleak place to be.
Is it?
It really is, because you only go there when you're really kind of lonely and desperate, and then you're swiping like, and you're like, I don't even like that, but like if I saw that person in the street, I don't think I would look at them twice, but no one's liked me, so fuck it. Like. Let's just hope someone likes me. I don't know if that's perhaps from a more male perspective, but it's a bleak. And the trouble is, as well, I don't really maintain those things. I go on the apps, and I've got like 3 different dating apps, and then I'll go on them for like a day, and then I won't look at them for 2 weeks, and then I'll have the odd message, but I'm like, well, too much time has passed now, or I don't want to. Oh, don't worry, Terry. I'm sure things will work out. I've just realised something, Terry. Meeting women from YouTube is not good because they are mental. But anyway, let's not go too deep into that. Honestly, Chris, don't worry. I really don't hold. I don't mind pulling a few punches at the moment.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'll tell you some stories offline, and you'll understand why. Well, of course, except you, Terry. You've always been lovely. But no, online dating.
The reason why it's mental is because the relationship starts in a very unique way. Yeah. I mean, those just create different avenues. But yeah. It's not like you guys ran into each other at a coffee shop and were like, "Hey, what's going on?" You met in a weird circumstance, like. 10, 15 years ago, I met you online. Remember when we used to be like, you used to slap somebody and be like, "Are you crazy? That's a psycho. It's gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Now it's like you don't even ask anybody anymore where they met. I've never been asked that.
I'm surprised now when you go, you see your friend and he's got a new girlfriend. You go, "Oh, which app did you meet on?" They go, "No, we met in person." You're like, "What?
Bullshit."
But that's bollocks. You're lying. And they're like, no, honestly, we did. Yeah.
In a park, we were walking dogs. I'm like, man, you went back old school. Like, you brought that shit back.
But I think because of the way everything happens online now, it's kind of a horrible place to meet people in real life. Oh, Terry, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I have a friend who is now married to a woman he met online, and he's got 2 of the loveliest kids you could ever meet. I mean...
No, I was speaking in, like, the early 90s, late 2000s.
I can see every side here, and to be honest, I think I've met women in real life who have been mental, and I've met women online. Not saying they're not real, but...
I've met mental people on and offline, boys, girls.
But I've met nice people both on and offline, too, as well. Just for me, I think recently I've been meeting more people online than offline, and it hasn't been very successful.
I met my wife on the internet.
Oh, I didn't know this. Do tell.
Yeah. It was a dating. It was like not even like a real dating app. It was more like a social. I forget what the app doesn't exist anymore. It was back in the first stages of apps, but it was basically right around my birthday,
Yeah.
and I was new to this part of the country. You know, that's how we talked on there for like 3 or 4 days. Met in person. The rest is history.
Ah, well, that's nice. Yeah, no.
I was like, what, 11 years ago?
It's a minefield, though. I think the difficulty is I'm at an age where people are like, well, if you haven't settled down with someone, there must be something wrong with you. So maybe there is.
What is that?
Me.
I mean, that's kind of what I mean, I didn't have that problem. I did when it came to, like, in my 30s when I didn't have kids yet. People were, like, on me like a hawk about it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel, I kind of understand what you're saying, but you gotta let that shit happen organically, man. You can't force crap like that. It just doesn't do anybody any good.
No, you're right. But then you've also got to put yourself out there. And
yeah, just put yourself out there and see what happens.
Oh no, yeah. Sorry, let's not let this descend into a terrible, sad conversation about the state of my love life. But no, what I'm saying, like I said, I've been on these dating apps, and they're a depressing place, man. They're a really depressing place for a dude. And you just
is it depressing because you're projecting like your self-image and your worth upon these girls not interacting with you?
I don't know. See, I think my profile on one of them at least is pretty funny, but I just don't. Saying that, I've had some quite cute girls message me, and to be fair, it's on me, because the chat will start, and then I'll just start to feel awkward, and I'll be like, oh, do you know what, when I meet them, maybe it's my anxiety, and I must admit, the older I seem to get, the worse I seem to suffer from anxiety.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm on medication now for that shit.
Yeah, and but I start to get anxious, and I'm like, I have a nice chat with them, and then I'm just like, oh, but what if I meet them in person and they're not what they seem, or blah, blah, blah. And then I get anxious about it and I just stop talking to them. And then...
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just anxiety. Mark says here he's been more successful offline, and I think I need to get back to the offline. But where does a man of my age go to meet an eligible lady? That's the trouble.
The barista, man. You got to go to the baristas.
The baristas? Aren't they the guys that work in coffee shops?
Yeah, you got to go to the baristas. The chicks there, the girl ones. The girl coffee makers, man. You got to go up there and like wear like dad clothes, and you got to like...
What?
What
are they like?
If you want
Dexter Fletcher's character in Hotel Babylon.
No, I'm just trying to be funny, but I'm saying, like, you got to go to coffee places, go to like bookstores, go to meet, and I don't know, find your way to be around things that you like. You like records,
go to record shop. Horrible thing, because we live in the internet world. Like, you go up to them and they go, "What are you doing talking to me here? You should be finding me on Tinder, you bastard."
They say that?
Well, no, of course they don't. But no one said that to me. No, it's something I said a long time ago. And the thing is, when you do approach someone in public, or you go up and you're polite, people are a lot more warm and receptive than you would expect. But I'll see an attractive woman, I'll be like, I really like her, I should go and talk to her. And all I'll do is be like, well, I can't take the rejection, so I won't do that.
Well, then, right. What do you mean the rejection? Just say hi.
Yeah.
I think you're, like I was saying before, man, I think you're just putting a little too much pressure on yourself.
Oh, I am. 2 nights ago, my parents were telling me about how that if I don't have children, our name dies out. I'm like, well, thanks for not putting any pressure on me, mum and dad. Brilliant.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, I could just go and buy an egg and ejaculate into it.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. I mean, I'm not
an expert, but
not an expert, but
no. But you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't know. I'm sure someone will come along. Free range Adam. Oh, anyway, we've gone completely off topic and ended up
We
talking
sure
about my
have.
dating life instead of talking about Black Mirror. However, I must say, I think this is the first ever stream I've done that has more likes than viewers. So thank you very much, guys. You must be enjoying our Black Mirror chat until it descended into this person. This is what Charlie Brooker has done to us. Made us question our own.
Made you.
Made me question my own
Yeah, don't you
sanity.
drag me down, your sad asshole. Motherfucker, I'm clinging onto the edge.
Yeah.
My nails are gripping and you're trying to pull me down there. I'm not coming, man. One of us has to get the rope to get you out of there. If you bring us both down, we're fucked.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not a sad person. I've never been sad. I mean, I love my own company.
Very melancholy.
Sorry?
Very melancholy.
Yeah, I suppose this topic is. But I do like my own company, which is kind of a problem I have with women, though. Because I meet one. Sorry?
This doesn't... You like your own company, so you haven't met anybody who matches up to you?
Yeah.
Holy shit, narcissist.
I am a little bit narcissistic. Go to the project link, ask a question about a future veggie and how they would prepare it or pick the best one. Yeah, it's free fleck, but I could do that and I'll be like, oh, do you like to pickle a cucumber or do you like to just eat it raw? She'll be like, what are you doing? And no, I'm not. I don't want to meet women. Oh, I was going to say I don't want to meet women in the supermarket. I don't care where I meet them. I'll meet them anywhere. Just please.
I'm desperate. Just come anywhere, please. Si habla español.
Yeah, I think that might be part of the problem. I know Andy doesn't want me to come home because he will no longer have his holiday home in Spain, but I am seriously considering coming back to the UK. Do you know what the trouble is, right, and I keep having, since I've been here, I keep thinking, oh, like, maybe I'll come to Scotland, I'll meet some sort of, like, I'll go and live in some tiny Scottish village where there's one hot girl, but there's never been a man, and then she'll be like, oh, yeah, it'll be like Bally Kiss Angel or something. But maybe that's a bit far-fetched. The Scottish women are a lot harder nuts to crack than English women, to be fair. Or Spanish or South American women. Because to South American and Spanish women, I'm exotic. To Scottish women, I'm just a Fenian bastard. So...
Aren't you part Scottish?
No, I'm Irish.
Oh, can't you say that, you're just as... You guys should be brethren.
When you sound as posh as I do, it's very hard to make people believe that you're Irish. Unless I start going into bars going, oh, diddly diddly dee. To be sure. Like that. And,
oh, Jesus. Jesus, that was so racist.
I am Irish, so I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Well, I am. I was born
I'm
and raised...
part Indian, but you don't see me running around going, oh, shit.
Well, now I do. So, yeah. So it doesn't...
I think you should move back. I think it'll be a fresh start.
Yeah, I'm thinking... Do you know what? I'd really like to just move to the middle of nowhere. And hopefully a town where there's at least one hot girl who doesn't have a boyfriend or a husband.
Specific. I gotta find a town with one hot girl. Like,
yeah, basically a town of that just one hot girl lives in. She'll be like, oh, no one's been here for years. Well, I'm here. Diddly diddly dee.
You're gonna show up a bunch of fucking horses. And she's gonna be sat outside. And it's just ugly, and then there's a cute one.
Yeah, no, I think Scotland is honestly, it's beautiful. I mean, it's rough terrain and it's hard weather. And I was like, oh, well, I love living in Spain because
about Scotland from train spotting.
Ah, yeah, but they're is that
What's that fucking Braveheart?
Braveheart? Yes, but the thing, Scotland. I mean, the thing with Scotland is it's sparse. You've got some big cities like Glasgow is great fun, a fantastic fun city.
Edinburgh,
Edinburgh's full of the posh cunts. I haven't actually been there, but I've had some great days out and nights out in Glasgow. But I want to go. I want to go and live on like the Isle of Skye. Just somewhere in the middle of nowhere with sea and rocks and rugged coastline and big green mountains around me. I mean, even here, it's a shame I can't show you guys. I wonder if I could put the thumbnail in. I'll probably accidentally put up a dick pic, so I won't do it right now. But like, not in fact saying that, I don't think I've actually got any dick pics. I'm far too classy for that sort of thing. But I don't have the technology. But I sent a photo to like I was saying to Andy earlier when I was talking to him offline. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of really enjoying this time being in Scotland, and he was like, oh yeah, but what about Spain? And I said, well, have a look at what I wake up to, Andy. And like, I've gone out because he called me first thing. Well, I say first thing in the morning. I didn't wake up till 11:30 today, and so I sent him a photo while we were talking on Skype of what I see when I walk out here. And yes, it's grey and it was dull, but also it's full of green trees and a lovely big river right in front of me. And I was like, I mean, that's pretty nice, man.
Yeah, sounds good.
I don't want to live with my parents, but I really do like the kind of. I also like the kind of community and family spirit of Scotland, which might sound odd, but also the people here, they've just got such a wicked and brilliant sense of humour that it does make.
Hey, you're making me want to move there.
Yeah. I mean, I went last night. We went to watch the football at my dad's mate's house, and it was him and his. I said to my dad afterwards, like, I take it Eric and Archie are best mates because like they were just taking the piss out of each other all night, and it was very funny just to watch it. I mean, if you ever get a chance, there's a comedy called Still Game, which it takes a little getting used to because it's very, very Scottish and you need to get used to the Scottish terminology, but it's actually brilliant. It's by two guys who are in their, I think when they first started making it, they're in their 40s, but they have makeup on to look as if they're in like their 70s and stuff. And it's like two old guys, but very, very funny stuff. Jack and Victor. Mark knows his British comedy. I don't know if Mark has seen Still Game. But it's well worth watching Still Game, but you need to get used to the Scottish language in it. But that kind of summarises the difference between Scottish and English comedy. Like they just take the piss out of each other all the time, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm romanticising it a bit because I'm here, or maybe I'm just a bit tired of living in. Oh, Isa. Lady Peeps is the old gal in it who is in a lot, and of course it's got the Asian guy in it who's been in loads of stuff. He was in what was it called? I was about to say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but that's not what I'm trying to think of. Goodness gracious me, not Chitty Chitty. I don't know why. I suppose there's 6 syllables or whatever. Oh look, Russell Williams, the murdering army colonel has joined us now. He's my good friend Russell Williams. So please, not what happened last time, guys. Do not abuse him. He is not the Russell Williams. I mean, he is the Russell Williams to me, but he's not the one that murdered all those women in Canada.
Jeez. Jesus.
Were you not here, Chris? Russell got a whole
No, I'm saying Jesus because I remember everything. I know who your friend Russell is. What's up, Russell? and I know who you're talking about, the Canadian fucking Army Air Force guy, Colonel or whatever, and his interrogation tapes. He didn't show any remorse at all, like a fucking robot. It was creepy.
It was, but the thing is, he does sadly, rather unfortunately, share his name with him. And one night, my friend Russell came in and got a whole bunch of abuse. Now, Russell's not into the weird side of life like you and I are. So he was like, what's going on? And everyone was abusing him like, why would you have a name like that, you absolute bastard? You know, it's like calling yourself Ted Bundy or something to some people, but they don't realise that some people are just called Ted Bundy.
So your subscribers thought he was trolling.
Yeah, he is not that Russell Williams. But anyway, we
I remember him on. I forget. It was shortly after that incident that happened in Spain, the shooting.
Oh, the terror attacks. Yeah, we were talking about that last night actually. Because I was just it was you that informed me of it actually, Chris. Because I was just sitting having a lovely paddle on the beach. I had been to see.
Yeah, I called you at school when I got the alert on my phone, and I ran out the building and I called you immediately to make sure you were all right. And you didn't seem like you understood anything until you were like, "Oh yeah, and now I hear sirens and shit in the background" or something like that.
No, I had been to see my man that gives me the special tobacco, shall we say.
The wacky tobacco.
Yes, and I thought, it's such a lovely day. I'm going to wander down to the beach and have a little smoke with my feet in the sea, because I like to do that. It's very nice in the summertime. Get some salt water around your feet. If you ever get athlete's foot, nothing better for it than salt water. I mean, I don't get athlete's foot, but I still like to get a bit of salt water around my feet anyway. And I thought, and then I noticed I had like 4 missed Facebook calls from you. And I was like, no one ever calls me on Facebook. Better call you back. And you're like, are you all right? I was like, well, in your American, are you all right? And
God, that's not what it said.
It sounded more like Andy, didn't it? That's more like my Andy. Are you
all right, mate? Are you all right?
Are you all right? I can't do it anymore. And I was like, well, yeah, what's up? You're like, there's been a terrorist attack in Barcelona. I was like, has there? I'm smoking a joint in the sea. Like, literally, this was happening maybe 500 meters from where I was. Mental.
Yeah. But I was concerned.
Well, that's very kind of you. But then I got on the train. The thing is, everyone on the beach, I kind of looked around and I was like, everyone's being normal. This is odd. It wasn't until I got on the train home, that's when the harrowingness of it hit me. And not me particularly, but just because there was like people crying on the train and stuff, and made me feel a bit bad. But there we go.
But we went dark.
Oh, well. We've gone a bit. I mean, that's probably not as dark as my online dating experiences, anyway. So
you should share your dating profiles with us.
Well, no, my phone has died. I thought my profile was quite funny because I think on one of the sites I'd written, forget tall, dark, and handsome, average height, normal, and socially awkward is what's in. But that doesn't seem to work. That's the thing, though. It's all about this bravado online, isn't it? Because the thing is, in real life, I am dark and handsome. Perhaps not tall, but not short either. So, yeah, I thought it was quite funny, though. I thought people would see that and be like, "Oh, that's funny. He's a funny guy." But apparently not.
Yeah, but I think most of those apps are based off looks, man. Unfortunately, not saying you're ugly or anything, but I just think that like the girls are getting bombarded with dudes all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's extremely hard to stand out, and if you do stand out, you gotta look good. I think you mean like super good, like too good to be.
I mean, that's the trouble, though. I mean, you look like a cunt if I did it, but I'd probably be a lot more successful if I just put on my profile, well, I've got a YouTube channel with 25,000 subscribers. who wants to suck me off. But
I don't think that's gonna work.
no,
It might.
because that was my next plan. No,
of
course, false modesty is my thing, but true modesty, not modesty, sorry, false arrogance is my thing.
Yeah, Terry's just defended your honor.
Terry will always defend my honor. She is my Sir Arthur. But yeah, what can you do? Online dating is bollocks. I can meet very attractive women off YouTube, but they're always insane. So there you go.
You need to try to get somebody to hook you up with somebody.
Yeah, but someone who lives in my area.
Don't your parents have any friends that have daughters?
Well, I'm going down the pub for Hogmanay tomorrow, so you never know. You never know. By the way, Hogmanay is Scottish for New Year's.
I didn't know Scottish was an actual language.
Well, it's not. It's Gaelic.
Gaelic, yeah, there you go. Garlic. I like Gaelic butter.
Yeah, I like Gaelic butter.
Gaelic butter.
But then in Ireland it's Gaelic, isn't it? And then Welsh is similar as well. It's all very confusing.
I like to wash my Gaelic butter down with some cliche wine from '83.
Well, this is.
You're distracted.
I am. Someone sent me some things on Skype that I can't even read, but I will do shortly. Okay. But
I made a joke and you didn't even glaze right over
sorry,
it.
I can't. I cannot multitask. That's a given. Right, but I guess what we've discussed, we were doing really well. Whilst we only talked about Black Mirror, we had.
Yeah, I don't know where this thing's going now. No. For real,
we got more likes than viewers, which I don't know how is even possible. But that I'm very impressed. I'm not sure how that's even happened. But then I've banged on and on about not getting a date and suddenly we've got a dislike from one of these other fucking bastards that won't tell us what. No, in fact, I can understand why this evening. When Andy's here. In fact, when Andy's here, I can understand why even more. But,
oh, that's not nice.
No, but he knows I'm only joking.
I do understand the frustration of getting a dislike on your video and wondering why. Like, if you just tell me why you didn't like my video, maybe I could change it.
Yeah, no, I think you're always going to get, I would say 12 likes to 1 dislike, especially when we've only got 6 people watching, is pretty fucking good, to be honest. Anyway, our lives are becoming like an episode of Nosedive. Like, we shouldn't be judging it all on likes and dislikes.
Oh, I mean, I don't. Does it sound like I'm obsessed with that shit? Because that's not.
No, I sound like I'm obsessed with it at this point in time.
Really. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, we're on 2 different playing fields. You know, I'm on a fledgling channel trying to build an audience. You have one trying to maintain it and then go to the next level with it.
Please don't leave. Please, viewers, don't go. No, I think, honestly, it doesn't really, it sounds like it does now because I'm over egging it, but getting the odd dislike here and there as long as the likes outweigh the dislikes, then I'll always be happy. It shows I'm doing something kind of right. And this evening, all of these streams have been very completely unimprovised. And I think we've had a fantastic chat about about Black Mirror, which was going really well. No, it was quite surprising because we had 10 people watching and 12 likes at one point. So someone must have logged in with 2 accounts because they enjoyed it that much.
Wow.
Guys in the chat, that's the trouble though. People are probably going to come back to this video and go, "Wow, that's got a lot of likes. I want to hear about what." Because this is probably we probably jumped on this bandwagon right at the right moment. Because I don't think anyone else has done a podcast about Bandersnatch as of yet. I might be wrong because I'm not that.
I'm sure somebody has.
Yeah. But I think, we're in there nice and early, and we've planted our seeds, and now we're going to watch it grow. But the trouble is, people are going to come here and watch it, and for the first half an hour, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this is very interesting what they're talking about. And then they're going to get to the end and they're going to be like, why is this cunt banging on and on about not getting a date on the internet? So, that's what happens.
You can just edit that out, trim it, or just delete
I'm not
this
gonna
once
edit
it's done.
shit. You think I'm going to...
No, actually, I know you're not going to edit it. Yeah.
If someone listens this far and they get to this point and they're not listening to this while it's live like it is now, then congratulations. You've made it to the end. You have completed Bandersnatch the podcast. And you have defeated PAX. So, well done.
And you just spoiled it for everybody.
Well, not exactly, because I don't know if it's even one of the endings.
Or did he?
Yeah, or did I?
The choice is yours.
Yeah. Is this do you want to click symbol or YouTube? Someone's fucking controlling me, you cunts! Sorry. That word just slipped.
This is YouTube. I'm watching you on an entertainment platform where you are the star. I don't understand.
What is YouTube?
Say it again. What is YouTube?
Right, and anyone that hasn't
There's going to be so many memes. There's going to be so many memes.
Well, I would just like to say how we are here 2 days after this show has come out. So people who are making memes, remember that it was Chris and myself who are the Bandersnatch experts.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. Well, we are one.
Okay.
But I tell you something, I'm definitely not the snatch expert at the moment.
Can we talk about how that kind of sounds dirty?
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, she's got the Bandersnatch.
Oh, did she have a Bandersnatch? Yeah, it was well elasticy.
How bandery was the snatch? It was pretty bandery.
Oh, that sounds like something from a Dr. Seuss book. Anyway.
What?
Oh, what's his name? You know who I mean.
Dr. Seuss. You said Dr. Seuss.
I'm confusing him with the Greek god. Oh, that's how drunk I am. Which probably means it's time to say goodnight. I would say. We've had some fun. And Terry, I think you mentioned some girl in her 20s. Send her my way. No, I'm not that crude. I'm sorry.
He lives in San Diego. That's where the honeys are.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I should get out to San Diego. San Diego. Do you know that's Spanish for whale's vagina?
Is it?
No, it's Anchorman. I thought you were the movie quote guy.
Oh, Anchorman. Yeah. Okay. I remember that.
Yes, guys, remember, set yourself a reminder. Please, honestly, guys, I have an issue with the number 13, so if anyone hasn't liked the chat who is in it now, could you please like it? Honestly, I can't stand the number 13.
Don't do it. Just leave it 13.
Oh, you bastards. But yes, tomorrow evening it will be the party stream, guys. It's probably going to be starting around... Where are you, Chris? You're EST, aren't you?
Yep.
So it's probably going to be starting around 8 p.m. EST. Oh, it says 14 to mark. That's fine in that case. As long as it's not left on 13.
Yeah, I just took away mine. Just make it 13.
Oh, you bastard. Mother, messing with my OCD. So, yes, guys, we will be having the... Oh, and Chris is going to be my co-host tomorrow, and I believe Mark will join us at some point, and hopefully Terry will have everyone on. And, guys, I hope you're going to get your singing voices in tune, because you know the drill for tomorrow. No one comes on the show till they've sung a song. That's how we roll on New Year's Eve. Tomorrow will be a night of fun and madness, as it was last year. And those of you who didn't get to see last year's fantastic New Year's stream, make sure you head along to this one. So set your alarm clocks and write things down. Get your incontinence pants out because you are going to piss yourselves. Wait, did I choose your song last year, Mark? Yes, of course. I thought you could choose your own song. Yes, of course, Mark. This year you can choose your song.
Didn't we all try to sing like Rapper's Delight, but it didn't go well?
Well, we'll probably have some more antics like that again. So, and of course, I will not be exempt from the singing, and we'll have some Christmas caroling and just some drunken mayhem. So
you know what we should do? Because there's really no New Year's Eve songs, really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's Christmas songs, but we should write our own.
There is a New Year's Eve song.
What?
Auld Lang Syne.
Oh, fuck that shit. We need a modern one.
Well, okay. Right. Well, so we all have to because this is one of those things that we're going to say we'll do, and we won't do. Like when we're going to
never do anything that we say we're going to do.
Yeah, like when we all said we're going to make our own gay movies. And,
that's your fault, man. You got to stop hosting these things or give the power to other people.
Right. Fine. Well, if you do a good enough job co-hosting tomorrow, Chris, then I might let you take over.
Oh God!
But anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and thank you, Chris, for joining me for the very.
No problem, guys. It's been fun, man. Always, thanks, guys. See you tomorrow, guys.
Yes, we will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure you're here for what is going to be the biggest event the last event of the year. Not the biggest, but the last, and one that we shall all enjoy together as we ring in the New Year's from all countries around the world. Except for the UK, because that will have passed by the time I start. So yeah, take care everyone, and good night.